Hey, I hope y'all are having a wonderful fall, and we are going to go over some 5 holiday hazards that we hear about here at Kookaburra Bird Shop every single year, and we have been hearing about it since 1979. You got to remember your pet birds, their breathing is much different than ours. They have air sacs and static lungs, and so if they breathe in a toxin, they're going to need to go, they may not make it. So the first thing I want to talk about is Teflon pans. I have not had a Teflon pan in my house ever because we have known that when they reach a certain level of heat, which isn't as high as you think it is, and there is not a Christmas season that doesn't go by that somebody's not baking or cooking or frying an egg with a Teflon pan, that they're not calling us heartbroken because their bird is no more. So I'm going to suggest that you get rid of all your Teflon pans if you have pet birds and go with ceramic, stainless steel, or cast iron. And I know recently there's been some Hexclad. I went and looked. It's a form of Teflon. I would not use them around the birds. It is just not worth the risk. So that is going to be one of your holiday hazards. Now let's go into candles. Not only can your bird fly into a lighted candle, burn himself, but most candles are not safe. I do not know of a candle that is safe for pet birds. They release gases that are toxic to our birds, toxic to us. So go ahead and do not use candles. If you're looking for a holiday scent or something along those lines, look for the cinnamon. You can do nutmeg and boil in a little pan, or you can go get essential oils that you burn in a nebulizer. So you might look for something like that as a suggestion. So along the same lines, we're going to talk about aerosol cans. Seems like people will start spraying the Febreze. I should name the different brands. It may be a different brand besides that, but they'll start spraying around their birds. Those are toxic to your birds, and if they breathe in the toxins, there's a high probability they're not going to be with you through the holidays. So I would go ahead and get rid of all your aerosol, Lysol, any kind of aerosols. Do not use them. Look for natural cleaners to be safer around the birds. So let's talk about our holiday decorations. This is number 4, holiday decorations. We've got Halloween because we're in Halloween, but your glitter, the metals on here aren't safe for birds. I mean, if you're going to take a picture and not have a mess with it, that's fine. That's something you can use. This is a candle holder, would not recommend for the birds. Definitely be careful of tinsel, any of the stuff that's hanging around that the birds can get caught in, just like they're not safe for our dogs and cats, and the veterinarians see all kinds of emergencies during the holidays. Avoid them. So be very careful with your birds around any kind of holiday decorations that you have. And now we're going to talk about something that some of you may find funny, but we do hear of you're having parties, we're being festive, our family's coming to the house. Some of your guests may or may not listen to you and start messing with your bird, and your bird wants nothing to do with them, and the guests can be a hazard to your bird. So be careful with your family members, especially if you've got a big holiday party and drinking and all that stuff going on. You might want to put your bird or your birds in a different room where people don't have access. A lot of times we have people that bring their birds in for boarding just overnight because they're having a party. They don't want to think about it. They want to bake. They want to do all the things. And so they bring their birds in here. The birds stay here overnight and then they go back. So even though that's the other thing you can do to keep the guests away is put padlocks on your birds' cages so the guests can't get in there. But the last thing you need, and it could be a guest, it doesn't have to be a human guest, it could be a 4-legged guest too. The last thing you need is an emergency room trip, somebody getting stitches, a dog's nose being sewed back on, whatever, and I've heard it all. You might be laughing because you're watching this video, but all of those things can happen. So you want to be very, very careful. We see a lot of accidents happen over the holidays, so just be aware and make sure your birds stay safe. And if you have any questions, just put a comment in here. We will answer all comments, and follow us and make sure you look at our other videos. And thank you very much, and I hope you guys have a festive holiday.